Hi guys, it's Donna from Donna's Creative Space. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today I want to share a quick, it's sort of a quick project. Once you make one of these boxes, you'll just keep making them. It's so much fun. And it's a great way to use up your designer series paper and cardstock and, scraps. Sometimes, you might have a little 5x5 piece or whatever. You can use it on this project. So anyway, I've gone ahead, and it's going to be kind of hard to show you this project, but this is a stack of boxes with lids. There are 4 boxes, 4 different sizes. Hopefully that you can kind of see this. And I've tied it at the top with this sheer red ribbon. And there's 5 tags that go along with this. But you can make, let me say it this way. I use this stamp set for the tags, but you can use anything you have. Any of the Christmas images, holiday images, sayings, or whatnot, to make yours. And you can always make these into a completely different theme, like birthday boxes or, just a special occasion. But it's really cute. It reminds me of those boxes that you get that have candy in each box or cookies in a box, and you give someone a set of them. But anyway, so I'm going to show you. I'm not going to do any stamping today. I'm trying to make this a quick video, and I'm going to show you how to put together a box. And then afterward, you can go to my blog, www.donnascreativespace.com, and you can download the PDF to make these boxes. And like I said, these are in the holiday. I use the Heartwarming Hugs Designer Series paper. This is just, I just think this was the cutest holiday paper because it was just nice and bright with the reds and the greens. But you can use whatever you have, and you don't have to make the tower. If you liked, the small box, you could go ahead and, like, I think on my directions, this is the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So you can go ahead and, let's say you like this size. This is the number 3 box. And this is a great size box. So you have the measurements to make this box. And you can go ahead and just say, well, you know what? I'm going to make a bunch of these smaller boxes. And here you have it. They're great. Isn't that great to use up your designer series paper and your cardstock? I mean, we all love our designer series paper, and we hate to part with it, but this is a great way to use some of it. So I'm going to, these will be this PDF with the instructions on all the boxes and on the tags. I will put this on my website, like I said, and you can download this. It's a free download, and while you're on my website, click on the heading up in my menu, in the top menu, and there's a spot to email me to sign up for my newsletter, because this way you won't miss out on anything. So I will download that and after the video. So hang on, I'm going to move some stuff around, and I'm going to show you how to put together one of these boxes. And it's the same directions as if it's just the boxes and lids are in different sizes. Okay, before I go any further, I do want to say that this is my December shopping host code, TZ7X9HB7. So if you shop with me this month, that's what I'd like you to use. I really appreciate your business. And it's, if you are ordering something and you want it before Christmas, Stampin' Up! Isn't going to guarantee anything after December 9th, so you want to get your order in right away. And if you do order with me between December 1st and December 15th, I have a free gift for you. It is 10 cards. They can be 10 holiday cards or 10 all-occasion cards or 5 of each. But because December's a busy time, I decided not to do a monthly card kit to go. I figured you guys are going to be doing all kinds of stuff, and it's a very busy time, so I'm going to send you some cards. And if you place your order soon, I'm going to get those and you choose holiday cards, I'll have that out to you as soon as possible so that you can use them this year. So on to our project today. I just want to show you in the catalog where the items are that I'm using. So the first thing is the stamp set that I told you about, is the tag buffet. Now that is on page 5 of the mini catalog. I like to call it the holiday catalog, but Stampin' Up! Has changed its name to the mini catalog, and I wanted to get to the cover. It looks like this is the cover of it, and they call it the August-December 2020 mini catalog. And we are having a new one coming out in January. So if you have ordered with me in the past 6 months, I have ordered a catalog just for you, and I'm having it sent right to you from Stampin' Up! So that you will get it as soon as possible. And those catalogs you can start ordering from January 5th. But in the meantime, we still have December, and if there's anything in the catalog that you like, grab it now, because we don't know what's retiring. A lot of times the holiday stuff, they discontinue and we don't see it again. But anyway, so the stamp is called Tag Buffet. It's on page 5. You can also order the Tag Buffet, which coordinates with these with these stamps, because it makes 30 beautiful tags, 5 each of these 6 designs. Let me see if you can see that. I know that the lighting isn't good when I see if you can see it better. But anyway, so that's on page 5 of the catalog. Then if you're looking for this designer series paper, it is called Heartwarming Hugs. It's on page 9 of the catalog. See, it's right here. It's so bright and cheery. And the little glitter star ornaments that I use to decorate the top box is on that same page. And they're $8. You get 12 pieces, and they're really cute. Let me show it to you here. See, I just tied it onto the tag, but isn't that a cute little star? Okay, and one last thing. The sheer red ribbon that I'm using is on page 15. This is absolutely gorgeous ribbon. I think that this will be great to use. Here's a random bow that's laying around, but I think this will be great to use for Valentine's Day also. It's so pretty. Okay, so on to the boxes. Now let me just say that I used, for all the tags, there's 5 tags. Here's the last one, the one with the star on it. It's right here. So the 5 tags, I used a 2-inch, 2 1/4 inch punch for the outside circle and a 2-inch punch for the inside circle. And all of these images came from this stamp set. But I cut them out. So I stamped the Merry Christmas, and I just fussy cut with my scissors, cut around the edges. I added I put the designer series paper in back, a few red rhinestones. So this is the stocking, a Merry Christmas. This one says with love for you. And here we have a little ornament. And if you can see, I did a little bit of Winkostella on some of it. And as you saw before, this one here is the 'Tis a Season one. And I put some, even though I stamped the holly berries in red, I also put the real red rhinestones on top. So those are the tags, and I just used the linen thread to make little ties on them. And these would be so cute to put on the top of these boxes, like this. Let's say, I think I'd put this one. No, let me see. I think I like the red one on that one. Wouldn't that be pretty? So anyway, like I said, I will put the directions onto my website. You can print out this PDF and go to town making these boxes, because all the sizes are here. I do want to say that on the very last page, I have some notes down the bottom about using the Winkostella. And if you're making boxes and lids, sometimes the lid is the measurements that they give you, which is right here. They're the same size. They're made to fit snug. And sometimes if they fit snug, the bottom might dent in like this, and you don't want that. So what I do is I cut the bottom box a hair less than what they tell us. So let me see. I'll show you on this one because it's smaller. And let's see. I hope you can see on my right here. You probably can't see, but so this piece for this bottom box was supposed to be 6 1/2. I went a 1/16 of an inch all the way around, a little shorter. So when you cut it, you could cut it at 6, whatever, and 6, like this one, for instance, was a 6.5-inch square, or just take a 16th off, and so that turns out to be 2, 4, 6, 7/16. All right, so it's one little tick mark, a tiny little tick mark, less than the 1/2 inch, and that way your box lid will fit on perfectly. It will slide on. There won't be any puckering like this to squeeze it in. All right, so just take a hair off, and if you follow your box measurements, right, because like I said, all my measurements have the full amount, but what you can do is just take off a hair, the same amount on the on 2 sides, right, and the sides that where a corner meets, because you want to have a square for these boxes. So that said, take a smidge off of 2 sides that have the same corner. The lid is fine the way it is, and so this is what you do. On all your bottom boxes for this project, you're going to score 2 inch at the 2-inch line. I hope you can see this. I'm going to kind of tilt it because sometimes the lights catch and you'll actually get to see it. There's a score line here, 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 and here. So it's 2 inches all the way around. And on your lids, and this is very hard to see, but it's here. It is, gosh, really hard. See right there? See that? So it's 1 inch all the way around. Okay, so then once you score those lines with your trimmer, you're going to go around and take your bone folder. If you don't have a bone folder, you should have one in your craft boxes. And you're going to score, you're going to crease on all 4 of those lines, just like so. Okay, then you're going to do that with your bottom also. So we're going to score on all, not score, crease, gosh, it's going to be a tough day, I can tell already. You're going to score, you scored on all 2 inches on the cardstock, 1 inch on the designer series paper. Then you're going to take a pair of scissors, and you are going to cut 2 opposite sides, and I'm going to show you on the cardstock because it's easier to see. Whereas the designer series paper, the print is very busy and it's going to be hard to see. But you're going to cut on up 2 lines up to your crease mark, right? And you're going to do that on opposite sides. I'm going to go here and I'm going to go over here. Just like that. Okay, now if you don't have to do this next step, but I like to do it. It just helps with the so that the edges don't show a little. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take from this line to the end, I am just going to cut like this tiny little wedge off. Before I click the end, I'm going to show you how much. See? So I start out at the very point and then cut that off. As you can see, all I did was I cut off just this little bit amount so that I kind of, if I put this up against the grid paper, you can see that it's just a slight wedge. So I'm going to start at the end here a little wider, and then by the time I get to my line here, there's nothing. Okay, so you do that on the outer edge of these tabs. Like I said, you don't have to. It just hides it a little. Okay, it just hides it a little when you fold it up. All right, and I'm going to do that too. And on here now, you're probably not going to be able to see this. I don't know which side, so I'm going to try to fold it. And it's really hard to see that center line, but I'm going to do it, and trust me, I'm cutting on the line. It is busy paper, so I'm going to do this side and opposite side right on the fold. Sometimes you have to just kind of angle it to the light. It's very hard, I'm sure. It's hard for me to see, so I'm sure on the camera it's probably hard for you to see. So opposite sides, the tabs, and I'm going to do the same thing and just cut off just a wedge from the score line to the end. Just a tiny little wedge, starting out barely anything and ending up with just, see how much I'm cutting off? Barely anything. I think this is the last one. Okay. So let me get rid of all my little scraps. And now you can use whatever adhesive you want. But for me, I'm going to use, so you could use tear and tape, you could use your Seal Plus. Both of these are nice and strong. I'm going to use my liquid glue, this multi-purpose, the Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue that Stampin' Up! Sells. And I keep it in this votive cup. So I keep it upside down so all the ink goes to this point. Of course, you probably, well, maybe you don't know, but this other end is also an end to get out the glue for like a broader area, and you can kind of spread it around more. But for the most part, I use the pointed side, so I keep that facing down into my votive cup so it's nice and handy. So all you're going to do on this is you are going to you're going to turn your paper upside down, and we're going to put glue on 2 tabs, just like this. I'm going to do this side first. You're going to do it a little neater than me. I'm just kind of rushing to get this done. And then you fold these up like this, just like that, right? And hold it for a second, because the glue does take a second. It fully dries in a minute or so, but just for that time period. And you want to line up this edge here with, oh, I got glue on there, with this edge. So the reason we did the wedge, I'll show you in a second once I hold this for a second. And we turn it down. See that wedge there? So now it doesn't stick up over the edge. If you had cut this a hair bigger or smaller, this way, there's our wedge. It doesn't, I don't know if you can see that, but let me point with my scissors. So this edge lines up, and this is wedged in so that we won't see it from the outside. That's all that's for. If you didn't make the tabs, if you didn't do that little wedge, that's fine. But I'm going to do on this side. And like I said, I'm rushing to do this. And whenever you do something on camera, it never seems to go very well. But you're going to do this nice and neatly. Fold these ends up till they meet. Hold it for a second. Of course, if you're using the Seal Plus or the tear and tape, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, and there is our bottom. I'm going to set that aside to fully dry. And now you're going to do the same thing with your, I'm going to turn these two in. Sometimes it's easier to do it like this. And I would be, like I said, a little more careful when you go to do this. But I am rushing. So I'm just going to meet these sides up. All right, so this is the seam that I want to meet. And then the wedge is right there, so that it hides it in case you had cut it a hair. So you just hold those 2 sides. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing on these 2. This one and I just love this paper. I'm going to meet that there, that corner, and hold it for a second. And the same thing over here, and hold that for a second. And all you're going to do is the same exact thing to all 4 sizes of the boxes. Now remember, if you cut it by the measurements out on the front page of this PDF, it will be, they're all like in a 1/2 inch increment. You're going to want to come in a hair. So change your 1/2 inch to, if it's to 7/16. So it's just that little hair less than the 1/8 inch mark. Less than, I'm sorry, a little hair less than the 1/2 inch mark. So there's our top. And I had to look around for this. And now it's still a little wet. I should probably let it dry a little, but there it goes. Now look at that. Isn't that cute? Now you can decide what you want to do as far as decorating this. I'm going to I put this ribbon all the way around all 4 boxes to make like a tower to give to somebody. Oh, in that stamp set, there's a to and a from. So I put those, these are photopolymer. So and they're separate. The to and the from, where is it? There's the to, and here's the from. I put them on a block, and I'll show you how I did that. And because if you have to and from a different stamp set, you still want to do, regardless, if you want them all in the same position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn, let's see, I'll turn this one over. And you figure out what, you take your tag and you figure out where you want your stamp. And then where you want, where you want your stamp, where you want the image to go, just like this. So I wanted it here and here, and I did it on a blank circle, all right? And so that's where I decided I want it. Then I just take my block and I get them both at the same time. So now, when I ink this up and I stamp all these circles, it's going to be in the same exact spot. So that's a way of doing your to and from, so that you don't have to reposition. If you have too little, you could do the too little, you know, blocks. But I like to do it this. One and done. Get them both done at once. So if you make, like, I'm going to show you. Let's pretend. Look at this. Isn't this pretty? Wouldn't that, I would love to get this as a, let's see. Get my bow's upside down. I'm going to go this way with it. But isn't that cute? You could do this. You know how, oh gosh. I think that you can do something like this with it. Isn't that pretty? That's a pretty way of wrapping it. I mean, I'm just playing around with the ribbon that came from the tower. But that's it. So that's your boxes and your tags. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click on the little like button. I'd really like to see that you like it. And it lets me know that I should, you know, make more videos like this. And as I said, if you're shopping with me this month, please use my host code. I really, really appreciate your business. I am trying to keep my small business going strong during this pandemic, and I do appreciate each and every one of you ordering from me. And go to after this video, I'm going to load this PDF for you, which tells you how to do all the stamping also on the tags, if you happen to have the tag buffet. But you can use those measurements to make your own tags with whatever Christmas or holiday tags that you have. Okay, that's it all for now. Thank you very much. Visit my website, download your PDF, and sign up for my newsletter while you're there. Thanks, guys. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.